Hey, what's up triathletes, Taren here. If you've just gotten to triathlon, you are gonna be slammed with a whole glossary of new terms that you're gonna have to learn. Stick around because today, in as little time as possible, I'm gonna go through 50 of the most important triathlon terms you need to know. It's gonna be quick, get ready for it. Number one, a race. This is your most important race, the biggest race that all of your training encompasses and is geared towards throughout the year. Aero, getting aerodynamic, often referring to the bike and getting into a very tucked down position, getting away from the wind. Active recovery. Now this is either during a workout or during a rest period of a number of days or weeks throughout your season. It's where you are recovering, not by completely taking it off, kicking back, maxing, relaxing. It's by still doing work, but at such a low intensity that you're not really taxing your muscles so they can still recover. Often you do this so that you don't stiffen up and take steps back. A bonk. This is what we all try to avoid. This is hitting the wall, not going good. A negative split. This is in a race or in an interval or in a run session where the first half of your race is done slower than the second half of your race. Time it takes in the second half is less than the first half. Negative, minus, math. Cardiac drift. This is where over the course of a race or a workout, even though you might not be working harder, your heart rate is gradually creeping up. Cardiac drift. Big ring. This is the ring on the front of your bike that turns the chain, the one that's by the pedal. Not the little one, but it's the big one that's closer to the pedals, to be used only in case of emergencies. The little ring, sissies use that. I'm just kidding. Use whatever ring you want, as long as it's the big ring. GI issues. These are gastrointestinal issues. So if you ever hear of somebody having stomach issues or issues that are a little bit further down the old GI tract, that's what they're talking about. Love a good GI tract joke. To be flat. This is showing up to a race or a training session and just not feel like you got the mojo for it. Maybe you're tired, maybe you're really lethargic, you're just not feeling up to your normal badass self. The next one is often when I'll talk about on Instagram where I'm saying like 2x400, 3x500, 2x100. The 2x or the 3x is how many times you're doing that interval. So if I'm saying I'm doing 4x400 set, that's 4 times 400 meters. DOMS, D-O-M-S, that's delayed onset muscle soreness. So that's after a really hard race or workout and a couple days later, you're still sore, you got yourself some DOMS. IT band, that's tall enough? Nope. Your IT band starts on the side of your hip, goes all the way down to the side of your knee. Often runners will have problems with their knees, their calves, like a lot of running problems start and end with your IT band. That's what people roll out when they're on their side. Tight IT band. Your aerobic system, that's your heart and lungs, pumping oxygen into your muscles for long periods of time at low heart rates. Anaerobic system, that is your strength. That's your fast twitch muscle. That's things like lifting weights or doing sprints. Your base, this is your base of fitness. This is something different from your race fitness. This is the fitness that we build from, and you want a very big base so that once you start adding specific workouts that get you ready for your race and that super top end fitness, you want a nice big base for that. Cadence, this is how fast or how slow you spin either on a bike or your legs on a run. Typically measured in how many times your legs are going around every minute. A pyramid set or a ladder set. Pyramid set is something where you're going like 100, 200, 300, 400 meters, 400, 300, 200, 100 meters. Ladder set, basically the same thing. A brick, this is a workout going from the bike to the run. I love a good brick workout, as you all know. Brick. Overtrain, this is where you've trained so much that you're actually doing damage to yourself by training more and you're starting to get sick, you're starting to feel lethargic, you're not really adding any fitness. Typically, this is just a general sense of blah. A drop set, I'll talk about this a lot in swimming, and our drop sets are where you start with a lot of pool toys, I'll get into pool toys, and then you slowly get rid of them as the set goes on. So we might be starting with snorkel, band, pull, paddles, and then every few hundred meters or at some point, some regular interval, we're dropping the snorkel, then we drop the paddles, then we drop the band, then we drop the pull buoy. It's drop set. A century ride, typically a 100-mile bike ride. Some people do a metric century of 100K. Chamois butter, this is a little bit of love for your undercarriage. It's antibacterial, it's antiseptic, it's cooling, it's soothing, sometimes it tingles, and this is what you put on your nether regions before a bike ride so you don't get saddle sores. DNF, did not finish. DNS, did not start. A fartlek, this is a run. I love a good fartlek. This is a run run where you go, this is a run where every now and again you pick up the pace and go really fast. That fast part called the fartlek. Fartlek run. Fartlek. Kit. This is the clothing that you wear for your cycling. No better way to look cool than a badass kit. Lactic acid, that's the acid in your body that makes your muscles really hurt when you're going hard. Your lactate threshold, I'm gonna read this out because it's sciencey, is the intensity at which lactic acid starts to accumulate in your bloodstream. This happens when blood lactate is produced faster than it can be removed. So smart. MDOT, this is the logo of the Ironman Corporation. Mashing, that's spinning on the bike really slowly, and then spinning on the bike really fast. Tapering, that is in the last week, 2, 3 weeks before a race, resting up and gradually dipping down the amount of volume and intensity that you have in your working out so that your body can recover and you become superhuman. PB, personal best. PR, personal record. I like PB. Stripper, get your mind out of the gutters, folks. It's not what you think. The strippers are the people that are at the swim exit ready to peel your wetsuit off you. Perceived exertion, this is how fast and hard you feel that you are working. So while the numbers of how your speed is or how much power you're putting out on the bike might say one thing, or what your heart rate's at, if it feels like it's really hard, that's your perceived exertion. It's just a subjective measure of how hard you're going. A split, this is the amount of time it took you to go a certain distance. So when people say like, what's your 5K race split? That is the amount of time that takes you to run a 5K race. TT, that stands for time trial. So in running, you might be doing a 5K time trial, in biking, maybe a 20K time trial. In the pool, sometimes either a 400 or 800 meter time trial. And you're doing this to figure out how much or little you're progressing in your training. Your time trial splits, because you know what split is now? Your splits are getting lower, getting faster. VO2 Max, more science. It's the highest rate at which oxygen can be taken up and utilized during exercise by a person. Let me put this into normal people speak. Your VO2 Max is like a really, really high level of fitness on the perceived exertion scale. Again, because we're going back to like the things that you just learned. Yeah, so VO2 Max, it's another measure for your cardiovascular system. Coach, person that hurts you. Drafting, in swimming, biking, and running, you get a little bit of a benefit if you follow really closely in behind the athlete that's in front of you. Swimming, somewhere around 13%, biking, somewhere around 30%, running, it's like 2 or 3, I think. So you can end up going the same speed as the person in front of you without going so hard as a perceived exertion. Just tying everything together. Swim toys, these are things like the pull buoy, the paddles, the band. You use these to help with specific aspects of your stroke. T1, transition 1 in between the swim and the bike. T2, transition 2 in between the bike and the run, not the Terminator. Masters swimming, this is a swim group. You'll often see them really early in the mornings. It's typically adults, and just because it says masters doesn't mean they're awesome. These are adults of all skill levels, so don't be intimidated by a masters swim group. Build, this is in an interval when the coach says you're doing, say, 400 meters build in a pool. That means that throughout the 400 meters, you're gradually getting faster. So within that interval, you're just gradually increasing the speed. You're building the speed. Strides are kind of like building in running. So you're doing maybe 1, 2, 3, 400 meters where you're gradually building up speed, and your stride speed at the end of that stride is a very, very fast speed. So you're incorporating building into your running interval. You often do these to warm up. Stud, this is a triathlon Tarenism that you'll often see on Instagram, where I refer to somebody as a complete triathlon stud. Can be a man, can be a woman, basically just somebody who's really awesome. You're all a bunch of studs in my eye. And a fast finish, this is where at the end of a workout, you want to finish really fast to remind your body that you should be trying to negative split and going faster throughout the workout. So you work to make your body go harder at the end of the workout as opposed to training it to just pittering out. And try Taren, this is your favorite triathlon focused YouTube channel. You see how I did that there? There you have it, triathletes. I hope you're now infinitesimally more intelligent with all these triathlon terms now in your head. If there are any triathlon terms that I didn't talk about that you want translated for you, hit me up in the comments below or on social media. As always, triathletes, happy and hard training, and good luck in your next triathlon. Oh my God, that was hard to get through that one. It was hard, tired, Sunday, batteries.